I'm Diane Karther. I'm a developmental specialist and former early childhood education professor, and I'm interested in resilience. I'd like to share some ideas with you on how to help young children learn to become emotionally strong and have healthy responses to life's challenges. Those who live and work with young children know many ways to promote children's learning. Reading and math skills are included in many popular play materials and tech toys, and book sharing is a common practice throughout the preschool years to prep children for school. Lesser known, but equally as important, are children's social and emotional skills. Educators in preschools and elementary schools are increasingly faced with more children's emotional outbursts than ever before. Both educators and parents agree that getting along with others, paying attention, and controlling one's emotional behavior is just as important for school success as academics. And research has shown that emotional intelligence better predicts school achievement than IQ. Another reason for concern for children's emotional wellness is the level of stress in the U.S. society today. Studies reveal that 1 in 20, or 6 million children from ages 6 and up, suffer from anxiety or depression created by stress. The alarming increase in adult stress across our nation is revealed in a recent American Psychological Association study. Now, it can't be assumed that children innately adapt to social and emotional challenges. The good news is that we know how to help children learn ways to cope with stressful life events. There's a growing body of child development knowledge on resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back and develop strength in functioning after experiencing adversity. Thriving in spite of difficulties is the goal of resilience. And even young children can begin to build resilience. Like learning to read or learning multiplication, it's built over time with opportunities to learn and practice during everyday experiences. Let's talk about young children. Young children are very emotional creatures. 2-year-olds have tantrums when asked to stop playing for lunch, and 3-year-olds throw fits near the store candy aisle, and a 6-year-old can dissolve in tears when excluded from the team. Without help, young children can't read and understand the source of their feelings and especially know what to do as a result of them. Depending upon their personality, their reaction can be an eruption or withdrawal or sensitivity. Children can't put stress in context. They can't separate themselves from external causes of the stress. Since their higher brain is still immature, they have difficulty analyzing and evaluating situations, controlling their impulses, and then mindfully choosing different behavior reactions. And many can't wait for a later time to get what they want right now. No one has helped the candy aisle meltdown kid learn this skill. Typically, at this developmental age, they have some faulty beliefs about themselves and the world. For example, they believe that everyone sees and thinks the way they do. There's a limited ability to take the viewpoint or perspective of others. This is why 2-year-olds can't really understand sharing. They don't realize that others want to play too. Without adult coaching, preschoolers have a difficult time seeing how their actions affect others. And yet, we sometimes see a kind act like a toddler hugging or giving a bottle to a crying friend. So how can we help young children? Despite these limitations due to age, adults can do some foundational work on resilience skills. Young children can learn ways to get what they want without temper outbursts and become more aware of their feelings and those of others. There are resiliency tools on the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Ashland County website. These have been developed to make it easy for adults to help children learn. The tools are simple, requiring just a few minutes' time to do within a daily routine. Tool design and instructions follow how young children learn best. Remember these simple tips about teaching young children. First of all, children learn best by doing and using objects in a playful way. It's important to name a child's feeling, and that begins the process of self-control. And name your feelings too. Tell a child when you feel happy, sad, frustrated, and proud. Practice regularly until the child can do for him or herself, especially with the calming strategies. And model using the strategies yourself. For instance, when you're driving in heavy traffic, use some deep breathing. And remember, emotional learning takes time. Be patient and adjust to your child's temperament and interests. Most importantly, adopt a resilience mindset when it comes to the child's emotional behavior, instead of seeing bad behavior and strong feelings as needing to be corrected or tamping down. View these as opportunities to show a child what to do with their feelings and to teach them how to calm down and talk through better ways to act. Remember, emotions and acting out behavior are a signal that the child's brain is trying to deal with a need or an experience that they don't really have the skills to handle. They need an adult's help. The resilience tools on the website promote 3 types of resilience competencies. They are self-image, in particular self-confidence and competence, and connecting with others, and emotional or self-regulation. Let's talk about self-confidence and self-competence. The most important element for building children's resilience is the quality of the relationships with the adults nearest them. Even in small doses, regular quality one-on-one time with the child pays off over his or her lifetime. Use minutes in the car, before bedtime, after school, or during dinner to put the cell phones and tech gadgets down and devote to listening, playing, and talking with your child. This builds a self-image in the brain of I'm important to someone, and children thrive knowing that an adult in their life is always there for them. The resilient conversation cards on the website contain numerous tips to start a conversation with the child, and especially how to discuss difficult topics. The cards can be put on a keychain for handy reference. They contain open-ended questions such as, what do you think? Or what would you do? Or how would you feel? As well as tips to encourage and help children calm down. They're especially helpful to get a child to open up when you know something's on his or her mind. Experts have found that another important factor in surviving life stressors is attitude about oneself. In particular, a sense of self-efficacy, or that small voice that says, I'm capable, I can do it. Adults living with children can reinforce this through regular habits of telling each child their strengths and abilities. The Strengths Keeper tool can be downloaded from the website and be used with all children and adults in a family. It can also be used in school or any program to develop this healthy reminder that despite one's faults or limitations, everyone has assets and talents. And another helpful reference for adults on the website is the Ashland Brainy Resilience Toolkit Caregiver Guide. It provides a short explanation of how resilience works and a variety of tips of how to promote it in children. Let's talk about connecting with others. Young children learn to interact with others from observing person-to-person interactions in their world. As they grow and engage with people, they may develop effective or less effective social skills. Particularly challenging are ways to tell others your feelings and how to work out differences. Sharon Long is with me to tell how the resiliency tools have helped in her work with families. Sharon works with Catholic Charities in Ashland County, Ohio, in the Healthy Kids, Strong Families program. She works in homes or other comfortable settings with different types of families. Welcome, Sharon.
Oh, it's very glad to be with you here today and share a little bit about some of the programs and things that I have worked with with families to help them build family resiliency and personal strengths so that their family life can be more fun, more interactive, more positive, stronger, healthier, more enjoyable, and build more resilient children as they grow up and be very happy, resilient adults.
Very important program. Well, tell me, Sharon, how have the tools helped caregivers and children talk about their feelings and tune in to their emotions?
That seems to be a pretty comprehensive issue that comes up with a lot of the families that I've worked with. We aren't traditionally taught what our feelings are or to identify our feelings. Most of the time, we spend a lot of time trying to deny that we have feelings and that we're okay if we're happy or if we're angry or maybe sad. But there are so many other feelings that we are kind of traditionally taught to stomp down in a little bit. And it's a lot of those that end up kind of simmering under the surface for a longer period of time that cause a lot of issues to arise in families and create problems that wouldn't normally arise had we been a little bit more forthcoming in our feelings. The resiliency tools and some of the how I'm feeling activities, the Brainy resiliency game, which helps families talk about what they would do in certain situations, have been really helpful to instruct and in a fun way to be able to identify what those feelings are and to be able to be willing to talk about those with each other in a non-threatening way.
The Beach Ball Focus Fund tool on the website has multiple resilience benefits for children. The feeling toss game helps them tune into and show different feelings, and several of the toss games promote focused attention on the other person. This ability to notice another is a building block of empathy. And the kindness call-out game reinforces children's helpful acts towards others. And lastly, according to brain scientists, the regular motor movement involved actually helps the brain calm down. And then another very playful tool on the website is the Ashland Brainy Resilience Game. This board game is designed for 2 or more players and includes social problem solving. As players travel around the board, they draw cards and respond to various social situations in categories. The categories are I control my feelings, I see what I need to do, I tell my feelings, I make the right choice, and people-to-people connections. In order to fit all groups of players, there are draw cards for children aged 4 to grade 3 and another set of cards for youth grades 4 to 8. Adults playing the game with children and youth can encourage effective ways to respond to sticky situations, such as these examples. When someone says something mean to me, I feel blank. I tell them blank. Another example is when someone wants me to do something that may hurt another, I blank. The game also includes blank cards for players to use their own creativity for playing.
Can you give an example or tell us some of the social skill building that you've seen go on with children having to understand how to get along with others, control themselves with others, do social problem solving?
Where we've seen it come up is especially when we've had reviews from some of the families who've taken the games home and used them for a while, that it seems to be that children who have a little bit more challenges maybe have experienced bullying on the playground a little bit, and having to work with mom, with dad, with caregivers, and think about how they could respond to a situation. And it gives them that practice so that when those situations come up, they're better able to cope with it rather than becoming an emotional response and reaction rather than dealing calmly with the situation, helping them having thought through what some of those situations may be. And the moms and dads and caregivers that have talked about using that, that's the one area especially that they've seen more progress in, because they talk about that on a non-threatening way when it's not an emotionally charged situation.
Let's talk about emotional and self-regulation. For young children, it is of primary importance for them to be aware of what they are feeling in order to learn how to respond appropriately. Feelings play a key role in keeping us safe, getting needs met, and maintaining healthy relationships. In the brain, they are an internal guidance system that includes focusing our attention, giving important information about a situation, prompting us to communicate, and adapting our response to the situation at hand. Emotions alert us to action when danger threatens, or if we have an unmet need. Thus, there's nothing inherently wrong with strong feelings, but rather what happens as a result of them. Self-regulation is the capacity to tolerate messages of distress that accompany unmet needs. Without it, strong emotions take control and can produce impulsive, hurtful actions. Self-regulation skills include the ability to calm down, to adjust to a change in expectations, and handle frustration without outbursts. These abilities enable children as they mature to work toward a goal. In the brain, emotions are read in the midbrain, between the higher order thinking brain and the primitive survival or brain stem. The ability to calm down slows immediate gratification and response, so there's a pause between emotions and irrational actions. The Mental Health and Recovery Board Ashland websites contain 2 helpful tools for self-regulation. The PS-Elementary Calming Toolkit provides adults easy ways to teach children to recognize when emotions are rising and then to de-escalate them anywhere and any time of day. A feeling check wheel helps a child pick the strength of their feeling, from a calm rabbit to a raging bear. Proven science-based calming strategies such as deep breathing, pressure body points, cross-body hugging, and others can be downloaded to print on small cards or put on a dice game. A short brochure clearly explains how to teach children to use these tools and use a listener figure that can be a bendable figure, a small doll, or a stuffed animal. After regular use, adults will see children using these ways to get to calm on their own. Children can be reminded to use these calming strategies when faced with an unknown or fearful experience, such as going to the dentist. Adults can also coach children to use them while they're waiting for a turn on the playground swing. They're especially helpful when children need help with transitions, which are times when we expect children to quickly switch from one activity to another, or go from one place to another. For example, after buckling a child into their seatbelt, a reminder to take a few breaths can help make the trip to the store a little better. Teachers can also use these strategies when students return from recess to reset their brains from playground arguments to a learning focus.
So can you think of any examples where the families have been able to calm a child and, or a youth? If you've worked with older children, where they have learned independently to start dealing on their own?
I think that's where a lot of the cards have come in, the calming cards that help an older child, someone 8 or older, have a better grasp on how to deal with their emotions. Um, and I found a lot of times that helping the parent or the caregiver learn to identify those emotions have been really helpful.
The Wipeout Feeling Self-Regulation tool on the website helps an adult use a step-by-step process to guide a child from a strong feeling to discussing how to react and respond in a healthy way. It's particularly good to use to resolve conflicts between children or adult and child.
And then there's the tool, the Wipeout Feelings or Self-Regulation Kit for caregivers with the different instructions. There again, how to walk through step by step when a child comes to you very upset. And then there's a youth version, which is with a dry erase mat where they can think through the different steps and think about alternatives and deal and depict emotions. And have those worked for your families?
They have been helpful because it's a visual picture of what they're feeling so that it lets them separate from it a little bit and put it out there so that it's a little bit more, that it allows it to be real, but it also allows it to be erased or to pass through rather than take up residence inside of them.
Lastly, on the website, there are the I Care for My Body mats for preschoolers, youth, and adults. These contain colorful and whimsical reminders to give bodies good food, sufficient rest, and exercise. There's a direct link between physical health and mental health, which boosts resilience in young and old alike. The preschool mats have a reverse side that can be used for messy art play and crafting Play-Doh, finger painting with shaving cream, or doodling with a dry erase marker. These and other sensory play activities are calming to the brain, and nearly all preschoolers delight in these creative expressions. And the reverse side of the I Care for My Body mat for adults contain tips for talking with children as they play and work. These can help busy adults make quality connections with their children.
Do these tools and using them and all of the skill building that's built into it, is it very hard for families to use, and does it take very much time in a busy family life?
No, it doesn't take much time at all. And I know that that is, especially families or households with younger children, time is a really, really important commodity. And anything that helps and that can be used in a short time frame, if it's 3 minutes here or 2 minutes here, is much more likely to be utilized. And it's much more likely that if it's going to be used, that the results can come from it. What I really do like specifically about the tools is that they are so versatile that you can kind of morph it into some of the other thrusts of what a family's specific areas that they really want to work on. They can be used in different ways. It's not like one piece of exercise equipment that you only pull and you only work your upper body on. It's something that you can use in all different ways.
Sharon, how important is it that during particular crises like this coronavirus, that families think about and be mindful to build resiliency in their children?
Can help us focus, and it makes us understand and helps our families understand that a lot of the joys aren't removed because of what's happening. Some of those joys are being encouraged. Family life and having some of these tools to improve and encourage that family life, give some structure to it, allow some additional focus. It's helping them get through this and helping them know that they can get through this. And it's understanding that there are resources and you have strengths and creativity and the ability that you need to be able to navigate life's changes, life's challenges, and that you're ready. You can do this. You've got this, and you're doing great.
One important note. For children exposed to toxic stress and trauma, these tools are not a substitute for professional mental health services. Seek professional help for children as soon as possible. However, the tools can complement professional interventions. If your child is seeing a counselor, discuss use of the tools with him or her. Lastly, developing resilience is a life journey. Every difficulty provides an opportunity. To paraphrase Louisa May Alcott, don't be afraid of the storms in life, but see them as chances to learn how to sail your ship. I wish you well and success in your sailing.